Hello and welcome back to our continuing adventures on the Let's Defend platform. Today we are tackling from April 6th, 2023 at 9:50 a.m. or 0950 if you like the 24-hour clock. EventID 133 SOC183 suspicious WMI activity detected. What the type of malware? So let's see, we have EDR Action detected, not allowed, not blocked, just detected. I'm going to assume that's also along with allowed, maybe? Wilshere affected user is also the host name. Well, that's interesting. 666.bin, 666.exe. L1 note. When I examined the alarm, Wilshere was seen trying to download the game Apartment 666 before the exe file in relevant. Zip file is in relevant is thought to contain. Assuming is relevant in that it is believed to contain. Okay, well, let's take a look. We have Wilshere. 172.16.17.20. 172.16.17. Or 10, not 20. Apologies. Alright, and so this is an order from the Wilshere workstation. Apparently out. So let's see, new process has been created. WMIC, shadow copy delete. And then we're bringing up volume shadow copy, and then we get free. Is this? Oh. Okay, so we get the hash. That's good. Alright, so we'll get that going. So it was pulled down. And then we get, okay, from command prompt, we want to delete all shadows using VSSadmin. And then we're going to, via WMIC, request shadow copy delete. Then we're boot status policy, ignore all failures. Recovery enabled, no. So the typical 1, 2, 3 punch that you would typically see attempted to remove like system, well, maybe not system restore points, but anything volume shadow related in terms of like having additional copies of your files before they get modified. Typically what you would see before ransomware kicks off. Yeah, and still the same thing with VSSadmin delete shadow. I'm assuming that's not quite lined up properly. I mean, these two here, sure, but we would need like the seconds. Four six six or 4688 4688. I was kind of hoping that maybe it would be like. Okay, so we do confirm that Wilshere attempted. Oh, it's a bad day for gamers apparently at Let's Defend. I mean, the exercise before this was Jordan trying to get NBA, what is it, 2K23? And now apparently Wilshere wants to play Apartment 666, which I've never heard of before. But that doesn't surprise me. Don't generally get a whole lot of time to do gaming. Let's see. And so they do denote that April 10th to the 16th, whereas this is going on the 6th, so that's obviously not going to play any part of it. So it's the email that came in at the day of, but past that point. Browser history confirms. Oh, goody. Okay, there we go. There we go. No fuss, no muss. Okay, so browsing history, it looks like we go bottom up. So Sherlock Holmes, Robert Downey Jr., Netflix, YouTube, and then we get to this. Where the game was pulled down. The quote-unquote game. Nothing apparently listed for command history. Network connections coming out. Top down. So, what ones might actually be more of a specific interest for us? 9:50 a.m. So what would be interesting is 11.11.11.11.11. That one I'm not aware of. So tell me, what is 11.11.11.11? It's not one that I'm familiar with. Like, I know 8.8.8.8 is Google DNS, 8.8.4.4 is the secondary Google address. What is it? 1.1.1.1 is Cloudflare, 9.9.9.9 is Quad9. Oh, oh, God. Well, apparently the U.S. military supports Apartment 666 backdooring organizations. Oh, crap. Win32 bad lib connectivity check to Department of Defense Intelligence Information Systems. Huh. Okay. So, and that would be about the time that stuff was going down. Process list. Now, I wish I knew as to whether or not if it's like parent, so the parent process is the 666.exe. I mean, I'm assuming so, but considering the fact that here's the command line for it. Although, wouldn't the command line be just actually running that? And then these would be like the sub, or the spawn sub processes. So you'd have like 666.exe. Okay, it's going to do all this, and then it moves on to the next portion. So it's going to do VSS delete shadows. And then that spawns a separate or another sub process for WMIC shadow delete, shadow copy delete, and then it goes to VSSVC, and that wanted to do what with that? Yeah, and then we'd see something with like BCD edit, but apparently not the case on this one. I think we have enough to say that, okay, it definitely looks like something ran, and to prevent anything else, we need to ensure that it is network isolated. And for those that aren't in the biz or that are working to break into the industry, most of the next-gen AVs, well, okay, I'll say CrowdStrike that I'm aware of has RTR, which basically gives you a command prompt into the device in question. So you can network isolate it. It won't be able to go out. It won't be able to touch anything else on the network, but it is still responding back to a CrowdStrike console that allows you to remote in, but it's not trying to go out to Google. It's not trying to reach out and connect to a .ru domain or anything else like that. It is contained. Although just not fully, because you're able to actually sit there and make a connection. But I'm just waiting for a nation state to be able to sit there and figure out some sort of way to inject itself into CrowdStrike, because I mean, it's still software made by humans, and then be able to pivot and then sit there and start jumping via RTR to other workstations. Ugh, scary thought. Anyways, so while we're waiting for that to build up, what do we have? So 666.exe, like what we were expecting to see. And we've got over a 50% hit for Trojan. Apparently Del Shad. Red Cap. Bad joke. I don't know, it definitely looks like something that we don't want running, regardless. Even if it's just a joke thing, well, sorry. So let's see, did I get, yes, okay, so integer analyze. Yeah, this was the one that had the interesting. Picks up is like 19% is redline stealer. But definitely marks it as malicious. We get Trojan.generic inside of this. Oh, internal error, it didn't work? Well, okay then. That's kind of a kick to the posterior. I wonder if it just, does it not like running on like Windows 10 devices, maybe? I don't know. There was I believe a public any.run that goes through and brings out the whole aspect of what this sucker does. Volume mixer. I'm assuming it probably like maxes out the volume. But yeah, so it looks like it just kind of nukes all your recovery options. And then just sprays a bunch of crap. So probably does like screen flashing. Oh yeah, so there was the volume getting maxed out. Oh, I bet you this thing's just annoying as all hell. Flashes the screen, probably blares some really gaudy music or something. And then there's also a report in triage from Recorded Future. And so it looks like it disables registry modification, disables task manager, and apparently sets itself up for persistence. Yes, this thing definitely doesn't want to run. Of course, maybe it doesn't work in Windows 10 as well. Maybe it works perfectly fine in Windows. Does it still? No, there it is, still again. Still labels itself as a bootkit according to this. But yeah, it performs the same type of stuff that what we'd expect to see, just close out a bunch of stuff. But the question is, did it go through and make a bunch of modifications to the files on the actual system? And I mean, it really doesn't look like it did. I mean, it seems to perform the actions that we would kind of expect as I might actually just sit there and put this on one of our personal VM and just sit there and see if it sits there and encrypts everything. I've got a snapshot. It wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Yay. Normally I would just sit there and do RDP, but it's kind of harder for everyone to be able to sit there and see that. Okay, so is this stupid thing still here? If this is the machine that's actually... Okay, yep. Task Manager is not selectable. And if we go and to start, type regedit for the Windows Registry Editor. Yep, okay, so I at least did that much. But in this regard, we have the git dash file hash MD5. And look at that, we'll have an MD5 of the zip. Oh no, let me guess. Will it work? That will? Okay. I guess I can live with that, right? So let's C users. Let's defend 666.bin.zip. So that way we'll have the actual. And then if we cd into, we'll have that, and then if we perform the same thing, since we'll need this for IOCs of the event, but let's just make sure this matches. Alpha 7, Foxtrot 9, Delta 1, 6, Foxtrot 7, 2, Bravo Alpha 1, 7, 8, 2, Alpha Foxtrot, Foxtrot 8, 4, no, 8, 7, 4, 1. Foxtrot, Charlie, Charlie, 4, 3, Alpha, 7, Alpha. Yeah, okay, they match. All the way through. So I guess the other question would be, like, is there pictures in here that, or is there anything else that would have been potentially? Just gonna make a bunch of, like, bullshit text documents. I'll make 2 of them. Yeah, why not? I mean, we've got this stupid thing. Let's don't have to run it on mine. Threat detected. Well, at least Sentinel-1's not stupid. The question is, did it allow it to do its thing, or am I just gonna have to dump this on one of mine? The eternal question. Oh, okay. So it shakes the screen. So it's more of an annoyance than anything else. And the text documents are still there, so it hasn't gone through and tried to, well, of course, I guess I should have probably put something in them, but okay. Kill it. Kill it with fire. I think we've seen just about everything we need here. I'm not entirely sure I would call it ransomware, although the methods that it takes definitely seems like it would be up there. I mean, really the big question would be, how would this thing act on a actual system with data on it? And I don't suppose we actually got a sample for this one, did we? No, but I might be able to pull it down otherwise. Okay, I think we've seen just about everything we need to see on this stupid thing. So let's go ahead and get this case put together, and let's see what they want to know. Connect the machine, which we did, and we took a look, and it definitely showed signs of, at least that the software had run, just due to the fact that we could not open up the task manager and the Windows registry editor was disabled. Analyze it and find C2. I mean, we got plenty of ones that show up, at least inside of ET. Oh, yeah, that failed. But it doesn't seem like it really communicated out in anything that was run. Let me restart this one. We'll get something current. Let me pause. Okay. So, of course, obligatory epilepsy warning. I'll probably just have to put it at like the beginning of this. And so what we're going to do is, I am not going to sit there and subject us to sit there and staring at that thing as it flashes through. So we will come back and we will check later. Is the file malicious? Well, disabling normal tools, I would say, does make it malicious. Cripe. Well, I'm not entirely sure that it would qualify as a rootkit. I'm torn between other and ransomware because the actions that it take is typical of ransomware. Cleaning out the system volume copy, volume shadow copy, all that good stuff to make sure you can't easily recover the, unencrypted files. We may not see that as much in the various runs, but I think I'm just going to go ransomware. We're going to say phishing. Have you seen the IFCs on more than one machine? So we're going to go back to log management, and somewhere within here, nope, I need the destination. Wait, the destination. Oh, dear Lord, I missed that entirely. Everything else is local. Okay, so and then what we do is we change, and we are looking to confirm that nothing else had actually apparently reached out to 11111111, since that somehow is freegames.com pointing to a DoD IP range or IP space. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure I believe that. Although I suppose they could be bored. Okay, so now I kind of have to know. Is freegames.com in the DoD space? Nope. Apparently just free.ardit.tech. Okay, so apparently it does sit there and bootkitted as well. As it looks like it just sets that you have to sit there and it's pointing the bootloader to 666.exe. Funky monkey, man. This thing sucks. I feel sorry for whoever would have been stuck with this stupid thing. But looking through for IOCs on more than one machine, I mean, we only have one entry for the 11111111, and I don't suppose that we can adjust. Nope, this is all strictly because the other aspect we'd be going through and checking for the MD5, SHA-1, SHA-256 hash across the environment to see as to whether or not if anybody else had anything else like this. And I don't think we can go through and search with the tool set that we have currently, or at least that's displayed here. So I'm going to say no. Was it quarantined or cleaned? Not quarantined or cleaned. Has it executed on the device? Yes. What technique was used as an execution tactic? User execution? Well, that's just it. Our run, well, our run actually did create connections, apparently. To the broadcast address for probably what's local. And then apparently to the broadcast address. No, that's not the broadcast one. Show all. Yeah, not really a whole hell of a lot that's there. Is the tap? Do these match, like, observed? And we get something different than what shows up here in terms of, and none of these are obviously flagged as like, so like if we were to just do an IOC, so apparently 224? Oh, the bottom ones, because I think that was where it was trying to do SMB. No data. Something tells me it'd probably end up being like another DOD. Seems like they always have the good ranges. M. Oh, a bunch of MCAST? Really? I mean, it's included. Try it. I mean, what do we really have potentially to lose? Seeing that machine didn't even make a connection to it. 11111111 is the closest thing that we can find that apparently at the time was hosting the freegames.com. Looks like the rain started. Hooray. So I'm going to say not accessed. We've done the containment. We'll do the eradication. Nuked and paved. Okay, lessons learned. How did the cyber attack happen? Apparently Wilshere wanted to, I don't know, for some reason play a supposed game, Apartment 666, on corporate machine. Apparently found a supposed free download site of the game, downloaded it from there, ran it, and apparently just woefully screwed the machine up, denoting that it was allowed to run. How well did the staff and management perform in dealing with the incident? Well, I hope they haven't restarted Wilshire's machine, because if they have, effectively, and that the changing to the MBR actually went through and was successful, I mean, the machine's going to be nuked to paved anyways, but it won't be a bootable OS by that point. So I would say that they did well enough. Let me go back to what are the notes I have for when I examined the alarm. Wilshere was seen trying to download the game Apartment 666 before the exe file in relevant. I mean, L1 note, a little bit more clarification maybe? But I would say well enough. I mean, I can kind of take away what was meant by the L1 note. It is obviously suspicious WMI activity. So, definitely would at least check the box for malware. Maybe not exactly ransomware, but so yeah, I would say they did well enough. I mean, more of a push to immediately quarantine the box. What will the staff and management do differently the next time a similar incident occurs? Hopefully by that point we've blocked any sort of execution of a 666.exe. If not just because this is the way this played out, but anything else that might be labeled 666. maybe have tighter restrictions depending as to what EDR is in play or next gen AV. I mean, I would think so in this particular instance, because the Sentinel-1 agent is deployed on the VM, the Wilshere workstation. Effectively, I would think that the machine learning would already know that that looks sus as all hell. So maybe tightening up the config of the Sentinel-1 agent, allowing enforcement. I think that would probably work best. Tighten up the... Oh, it kind of goes, okay, what would management do differently? No, I think they handled it fairly well. I mean, it followed the chain. I might mark it a little bit higher than, I don't know if there's a, I mark this as critical because this will, I mean, the command line actions alone make it look like ransomware. Corrective actions. So the tightening up of the Sentinel-1 config, the web filtering categories, and we probably just want to go ahead and block the entire US DoD MILNet range just to make sure, because we don't want to see any more weird resolutions for 11.11.11.11. Or at the very least, let's go ahead and get notified when, set up an alert if something tries to go out to US DoD mil space. More end user awareness training in regards to, well, I mean, we'd have to have the accepted use policy so everybody realizes these are not your workstations, and we might allow them for light use, for light personal use, but you ain't playing video games on it. You shouldn't be downloading and installing software that's not approved. Do that on your own system. And then probably more security awareness training. What precursors or indicators should be watched for in the future to detect similar incidents? Any sort of anything that goes through and tries to touch VSS admin, WMIC, shadow copy, and just about anything that sits there and tries to execute BCD edit. Those, I mean, by that point it's already kind of too late. Maybe go through and work with the web filter vendor. I mean, we've got an understanding here that apparently Wilshere and Jordan are gamers. So we may want to sit there and know like what popular stuff comes up, and then maybe we can request the web filter company find like lookalike domains, and we just get all that crap blocked to prevent anything possibly in the future. Maybe. And then any sort of alert that effectively the Sentinel-1 agent would throw our way. Because, okay, we got a EDR action was detected. I'm assuming they're using the Sentinel-1 in the full capacity. So you would think it, I mean, obviously we'd have to turn prevention on. But yeah, so basically anything there, it would probably go through and alert on most of that, I would think. But then, of course, we get to the artifacts. So, and this is why I wanted what we've got. So this is the 666 zip. That is MD5. There's the bin. And then we have the IP space. And US DoD. Although, where did we... Except we didn't see any of that. But we do have the... Yeah, so, and then URL address. Arguably, we'd want to just block free games. But we'll put the whole thing in there as the URL address. Inner comment. Wilshere attempted to download and run what claimed to be the game. Apartment 666. But was in fact malware that was allowed to run. Host requires a nuke and pave. User grids rotated. And work with HR to remind about the accepted use policy. All right, let's see what we get. Okay, so I've okay. Malware type was wrong, so maybe it was, I don't know what else you would consider. Does this one have the write-up in place? No. Yeah, I don't know. Well, I mean some sort of malware, but initial access method used in the end user effectively was phished by what claimed to be free games, but was actually malware. Well, social engineered. Yeah, I don't know if I agree with these particular ones. Because the end user just clicked it. It didn't execute magically. Initial access method used in the attack. And then the malware type. Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that, but I guess I'll have to wait until there's a write-up. Because I don't see as to how that makes full sense. But I guess it's not really up to me for that. And of course, nothing in regards to the IOCs, but okay. No fuss, no muss. Okay, well then, with all that being said, this has been SOC183, EventID 133 for, what was that, April 6th, 2023, 0950. Suspicious WMI activity detected. So, with all that being said, I will see everyone in the next video.